Jingle Bell Rock. It's I think the original version I could find was a woman, a vocalist by the name of Brenda Lee, but there could be earlier ones. I didn't necessarily research it, but there's lots of versions, tons of versions, in all different keys and all different, so different keys meaning all different chords and everything. But I came up with a version that I believe is in the same key as the Brenda Lee version, which is C major. And the intro, there's a lot of different little versions of the intro on different cover versions of the song. So I came up with a little thing for the intro that I think sounds good, and it's pretty easy to play. So let's take a look at it. Excuse me. So the intro has this little two-note thing, and what I'm playing is the 8th fret on the E string and the 7th fret on the A string. So, okay, then 7 and 7 on both of the strings, then back to the 8 and 7 thing once, just one little hit, then the 10th fret, okay, so 10th fret on the A string, then on the E string again, 8, 10, 11, 10, 8, then onto the C string, 9 and 7. Okay, so if I play that, oh, and I forgot my strap, and my elbow's hitting my wife's work table, work desk. Okay, so if I play it, then now what I do is I shift my first finger to the 8. So and that seems to work for me. Okay, so that's the little intro. So and there's like little sort of pause there, so the little is the beat of the song. Some versions have like a little hi-hat cymbal, drum cymbal, you know, going and then a lot of versions have this little descending bass line that just goes, okay, and it's part of the C major scale. So the C major scale, starting on the 5th note of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So note-wise in the scale, this is good theory stuff to know. 5, 4, 3, 2. And then instead of going to the 1, that's where the first chord comes in, which is of course a C. Okay? So that's the intro. Okay, then we get to the chords. And I wrote out all the chords, and, you know, of course, as usual, they'll all be written out there. So I have it written out as all of the chords are 2 beats apiece. Okay, unless otherwise noted. There's 2 spots where there's a stop. Okay, so of course the music keeps going, the beat keeps going, but the music stops. Okay, so sort of like at the beginning. 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so there's that stop, but the beat keeps going all the way through. I don't know if you could see my leg. Oh yeah, you probably could see the ukulele moving with the beat. Okay, so the first verse. Okay, and this is a really neat little chord progression, chord change. It takes a C chord and it changes just one note, giving it like a lot of kind of different feel to it, different sound to the chords. So it's a C, which hopefully you know, then a C major 7. I take my finger on the A string and move it down to the 2nd fret from the 3rd. 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and that's a C major 7. Then a C6 is just the 4 strings all strummed open, zeros. So then back to the major 7, then the C6, then the major 7, then a G7, which is 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Then the whole next line is all G7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a D7, which is 2, 2, 2, 3. A D7 twice, so 2 beats each. 1, 2, 1, 2. Then the G7 twice. And that's the first verse. Okay? So, I will play the first verse for you. 1, 2, 3. And that's the first verse. Yay! Pretty simple, right? So, oddly enough, there's a 2nd verse, there's a bridge, then there's a 3rd verse. Oddly enough, all of the verses are slightly different. Not a major deal, but they're all slightly different. And they're slightly different in different spots, like different parts. It's not like, oh, a slightly different ending each time. One of them is a different ending, another one changes halfway through and has a completely different ending. One of them introduces a completely new chord that wasn't in anywhere else in the song. So it's kind of weird. But anyway, let's keep going. So the 2nd verse starts off exactly the same. It is the exact same for the first 3 lines. Okay, so C, C major 7, C6, C major 7, C6, C major 7, G7, 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 G7. Okay, then, like the first verse, it goes to the D7, but only 2 beats, one time, 2 beats. Then the G7, 2. Then the C, 4 beats, 2 times. Okay? So, the last line changes the last 3 chords of the whole verse changes. So, the first chord of the last line is the same, but we'll call it that the whole last line really changes, because it kind of does. So, verse 2. So, there we are, verse 2. Excuse me. Then we get to the bridge. And like most bridges, it kind of all changes. Okay, so now it's F. So I have F written out as 4 times 2 beats apiece. So it's 8 beats long, or 2 measures of 4 and 4. Hopefully all those numbers don't confuse you. So it goes from F to the C. So F, C 4 times, D7 4 times, G7, and that's one of the stops. So you hit the G7 on the first beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it goes to the third verse. Okay? So the way I have it written out is each line is 8 beats long, or 2 measures. And since most of the chords are 2 beats long a piece, 8 beats works out to 4 chords per line. So this line just has the G7 once, just the beat. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then verse 3 starts off the same for the first line and a half, then changes. It has a new chord, an A7, which I'm playing as 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Goes to an F. Then it has F minor. I'm completely drawing a blank on an F minor. What the heck? So that's an A minor. Completely drawing a blank. Sorry. So anyway, the C starts off the third verse. C, C major 7, C6, C major 7, C6, C major 7. Now the A7. Then F twice. Then the F minor. Why am I completely drawing a blank on the F minor? Okay, you know what? I'm going to figure it out. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, a little embarrassing. I completely blanked out, and the reason I completely blanked out was, well, I don't know why I completely blanked out, but the reason that it didn't like immediately come to me is since I've been playing guitar for so long, I still think in terms of guitar, and the ukulele has this string that is the actual, like, it's the string that should be in the middle of these last 2 strings down here, pitch-wise. So a lot of what I think of as the lower note of the chord, it's on a guitar, it would be on that string. On a ukulele, it's on that second string. And then with the with the F chord, even that is actually the C, which is the third note in the chord. So F, A, C is an F major chord. An F minor is F, B, A flat, F, A flat, C. So I needed an A flat, and I didn't think of that middle note as being on this string. So I completely blanked out. So anyway, so this, okay, if that's an F, this is that middle note, the A, that needs to be an A flat. So first fret. So I'm going to switch those. Now, of course, we have an issue with this string being an A, and that's no good. So the F minor chord is F, A flat, C. We could play a C on the A string. Okay, because you can't have the A and the A flat both in the chord, because then you end up with this sound. And here that's not so good. And then if I play it, that note is yucky. So, 3rd fret on the A string makes it a C. So that's an F minor. So anyway, an F, then the F minor, then a D7, G7, D7, G7, D7, G7, C, and the last C you hit once. And it's the end of the song. But beat-wise, of course, it kind of still continues and finishes that measure. So if I played sort of the last 2 lines, that's sort of the outro, where it repeats, you know, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell rock. D7, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that 4, you don't play it to rest, but it still sort of does exist, because you kind of have to finish up that measure. You know, you can't really go 1, 2, 3, and just have it hang. So that is Jingle Bell Rock, and let's play through it. So feel free to rewind and play along with any of the verses and the bridge and everything that I played. But anyway, so let's play through it. And it's already been well established that I cannot sing. So I'm just gonna play it, okay? And if you can sing, if you want to sing, by all means do it. And let's rock. Okay, so does it come in on the 1? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it comes in on the 1. So I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I messed up. I wasn't ready. 1. This hand. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty, so there we are. Hopefully that was fun. And another thing that we could talk about that I could have talked about before, but I didn't think of it until I was already playing the song after the 2 false starts. But the rhythm that I'm strumming, I'm giving it a little more of a swing kind of a feel. Okay, so rather than just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which you certainly could do. It fits. You're playing the correct chords for the correct amount of measures, in the correct tempo, correct amount of beats, in the correct tempo and everything. But if you give it a little more of a swing, so I'm doing, you know, okay, so the beats are still, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It still has, you know, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and everything, but it's a little more of a, you know, you can just mess around with it. Once you get a feel for the tempo and the rhythm of it and everything, you can really kind of change things up. Okay, so if I wanted to play, like, say, that first 2 lines, you know. Okay, if you were counting beats, that's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even at the end when I did the G7, that was still 1, you know, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's still 1, 2, 3, 4. It's no faster tempo. I'm just strumming faster. So feel free to play around with it. It actually can be a really great way to make something that you're playing sound really musical. Okay, so like, say, at the end, you know, the that's the jingle bell, the jingle bell. You know, I'm doing the, you know, D7, you know. That's still the same tempo, the same beats, everything that we've already gone over and that we just played when we did the whole song. But it really kind of can add a nice feel to the song that you're playing, to the music, and really make it musical rather than just strumming the chords, which is always the point. It's always, that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're striving towards, is creating music rather than just some chords that you're repeating back. So that is Jingle Bell Rock. It's a pretty cool song.